Here's exactly how I took a brand from $50,000 a month to over $80,000 a month in 30 days only. So I want to break down exactly what our team did to achieve that in the span of a month. If you're new to the channel, you know who I am. My name is Justin and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, an online marketing growth firm specializing in elevating thriving e-commerce brands by simplifying D2C ads. That being said, let's get straight into today's video. So as the title says it, from 50K to 80K a month in 30 days with Facebook ads. So this is before we started working with this client. So April 2024, $47,000 generated. July 2024, $53,000 generated. Now, you might be looking at this and asking, well, Justin, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like, why are you only showing me April and July? What happened in May and June? Bear with me. I'm going to get into that. So the client's goal was to scale her business without having to personally be involved in the paid ads process. This client had been running ads herself somewhat successfully for about a year or so, but had capped out at about 50 to 60K a month. She wasn't able to really get past that profitably. She would always dip below her profitability threshold, which we're about to see what that is in a second. So for context, this is a digital product, low ticket, so $82 AOV, masterclass client selling to a woman US based audience. Okay. With that being said, in this 2-month gap, the client hired another agency between these 2 months before coming to us. So April is before this client started working with this new agency. May and June was with this new agency. And in July, they came up with us, which kind of sets the basis, I guess, of a partnership, which I'm about to show you in a second. Now, this agency unprofitably scaled their business while disrespecting the client's KPI of 2x blended ROAS. Here's what it looked like. So the month of May, $74,000 in revenue, $44,000 in ad spend, 1.65 blended ROAS with 48 live ad campaigns on Facebook. Was a bit of a mess, honestly, looking into the account. A bunch of campaigns, and this was actually one of the first things this client has told us when coming into a discovery call. They're like, I don't understand how this agency is actually managing my ads. Like, I am literally stressed out when I look into Shopify and when I look into my credit card bill because I know we're unprofitable. And I'm even more stressed out when I look into the ads manager because I just don't understand how the spend is distributed. And every time I ask them questions, they don't seem to understand either how they've distributed this ad spend. So far from the scale as long as blended ROAS is above 2 rule they had been given. They're unprofitable at this point and heavily so. Now, June, it goes from bad to worse. So $72,000 in revenue, which all things considered, it's actually $2,000 less than what they were doing in May. For $47,000 in ad spend, which is literally $3,000 more than what they did in May. So 1.52 blended ROAS, which in other words, they're even deeper into the hole with 47 live ad campaigns at this time. Okay, so pretty much the same as it was in May. So as I say right here, the account went from bad to worse. And this is when the client reached out. They're like, guys, it's just not working currently with this agency. I want to part ways. I want to do things the right way. I know that we can scale this account. I've done it myself. I just don't want to maintain back to the 50, 60K I was able to do by myself. Right now, every time they're trying to scale, they're just pushing it too much and it's just not working. Here's what happened. July is month 1 of working together, okay? Client came on board. They expressed deep concerns about the current state of their business, not just the ad account since the previous agency came on, meaning they were losing money and doing so at a rapid pace. So $53,000 in revenue in month 1, $28,000 in ad spend, 1.85 blended ROAS, 30 live campaigns. Now, this is the ad account on Facebook in itself. So our immediate recommendation, as soon as the client got on board, was let's just pull back on spend and get you profitable. Like profits over revenue. Can we both agree on that? Client was like, absolutely. Like, I don't want to have top line if I'm not, keeping anything for myself at the end of the day. We're like, that's natural. You got into this business not to just spend money, but to make money. So we asked the client, and this is very important because I feel like a lot of people forget that part. Given your fixed and variable expenses, how much would we need to spend at what ROAS for you to be profitable again? To which she answered, keep spend as close as possible to $1,000 daily and get me to 2x blended ROAS. Remember this, it is not just about ROAS, but also about what ad spend level. Now, let me correct a little typo right here. What ad spend level are you achieving this said ROAS with? Because, we could have came in and reduced the ad spend to, $10,000 a month, and we could have gotten her like a 3x ROAS and said, hey, great, we did it. We got you a high ROAS. Well, not really no merit if you cut down the ad spend by this much and basically get a slight incremental ROAS lift, because the client, with all their expenses they still have to pay this month, they might not be profitable at that low of an ad spend threshold. So all things considered, when you look at this, you're like, well, Justin, you didn't achieve that. I know. This was the first like 2 to 3 weeks of us actually managing the account and like taking care essentially of the business. Nonetheless, slightly higher blended ROAS, but because of the considerable dip in spend, I'm not even going to consider that a win. It's natural once again that when you dip spend, you'll increase ROAS naturally. But you can start noticing live ad campaigns are going down. So we went from 47 to 30 live campaigns. So throughout month one, we gradually cut down the amount of live ad campaigns. We didn't want to go cold turkey and risk tanking the account more than it already was, meaning let's turn everything off and start back from scratch. Usually I'm very careful when it comes to doing that because that could just unsettle the entire account and we don't want to do that. So we worked our way down from 47 campaigns to 30, and actually we ended up at 9 live ad campaigns by the end of the month. So we added 3 to 5 new ad creatives for their best-selling product, which 2 of them actually immediately took off and became new winning concepts. And we also added about 5 to 7 other concepts for other products of theirs that weren't necessarily the best sellers, but that we still wanted to advertise, which weren't necessarily picking up in that first month. So there was quite a lot of budget to testing. One thing that I do want to note is one point if you wanted the client has brought up before working with us is the previous agency was coasting on the same ad creatives for like 3 months. They did not, or I say 3 months because it was creatives that were already live in April. So they didn't really do any new creatives. They just kind of let it be and just kept coasting and just did media buying purely to try and help the account without any creative work. So here you can see our internal creative tracking sheet that we had right here. We are now at about 21% hit rate, meaning 1 out of 5 concepts that we launched on the account became a winning ad concept. And you can actually see that like the second winning concept or the second concept that we ever launched in the account actually became a winning ad. And then it kind of took up until a little later before we found a subsequent winning ad. But that first concept actually, or that second concept, I should say, was a very good one. Now, August, which is basically the month or the full first month of really us having ran the ads the entire month, $80,200 in revenue, $33,778 in ad spend, 2.38 blended ROAS, 9 live ad campaigns, and the account, you could say confidently, went from better to great. Not only have we made more revenue than this client has done it in the past. Meaning if you look at it, there before, right? When the client was running ads on her own, it was about $40,000, $50,000 a month. When the other agency started running ads, well, they literally ran ads at $74,000 in revenue, then $72,000 in revenue with 47 grand in ad spend, right? So that's quite significant of a transformation. 33,000 in ad spend, so a hell of a lot less ad spend than what they had, with 80 grand in revenue, which is a lot more revenue than what they were able to generate. So that spread contributed to a much more profitable ROAS of 2.38 blended ROAS for the client in itself. Now, what worked so good during month 2? Well, first of all, if you just look at the screenshot for a second, I don't know about you, I feel a lot less stressed. Like I look at this, there's a lot, less campaigns. And again, by the time we're recording this video, we're down to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 campaigns running. Like we keep consolidating the account further and further as we progress. But the account went from this, which I mean, I could have scrolled about 2 times here with the amount of campaigns that were live on the account, to this, which again, much easier to look at and digest the information presented by the ads manager. Here, real quick, I just wanted to let you know to check out the description down below, since I've started using Atria over the last couple of months for our creative process at paidadvertising.com. It's our go-to creative research, inspiration, and analytics tool. So think of it this way. You can actually use it to build an ad swipe file, save ads from popular ad libraries, to browse through some of the ads that other people have saved, and to link your ad account to the app to see the analytics of the ad creatives that you're actively running. So it's an all-in-one creative research tool, and I strongly invite you to check it out. Link is in the description down below. Now, back to the video. So target was achieved during that second month, or that first kind of full month of work on the account. We hit 2x blended ROAS and some, right? A lot more actually, while spending over $1,000 in daily ad budget. In other words, we did what the previous team couldn't, which is more revenue than ever with more profits than before. Now, many of the ad concepts launched in month 1 started picking up steam only as of August, actually. So as an example, this client, one of their masterclasses is called the Jacket Masterclass. Those creatives that we launched for this masterclass, they went from 1.42 platform reported ROAS, so not blended, but Facebook reported ROAS, to which is at the start of the month of August, to 1.82 by the end of it. So they picked up in steam as the month went on. Now, this campaign was one of the first, also to coincide, which is something interesting that I do want to talk about in this video, with Meta's new budget switch to weekly distribution. Coincidence? Maybe, but interesting to note nonetheless. So I will get back to that in a second. Now, if you've watched a recent video of mine, this next part may be repetitive, as I did talk about this client recently, but I didn't do a full case study. So again, this part might be repetitive if you aren't new to the channel. Concretely, what did we do to fix their ad account? Well, firstly, this client's revenue is almost entirely driven by Facebook ads. So if it isn't from ads, it actually comes from their email list, which feeds off of the new customers or traffic driven by ads. So the fix was as simple as a 3-step process that we use at PA with pretty much every new client. So number 1, we identified her core KPI and set a North Star from the start. 2, we consolidated the account down to 1 campaign per product only. 3, we deployed fundamentally sound ad creatives to her account. 3.5, we gave them enough time to succeed. So let's get into each and every single one of these points. Number 1, KPI setting. Now, I didn't put a little star icon here for nothing. You'd be surprised by how many people that run ads to which I ask, like, what's the number 1 metric you are looking into to gauge the success of your ads, that cannot just give me a straight answer. They'll be, oh, it's like ROAS, but also like revenue. Like I look at ROAS, and then if my ROAS is above 3, like I feel comfortable, but I also need revenue. And I'm like, again, what is that North Star? Like what exactly? Okay, where does the 3x ROAS come from? Well, honestly, I just know that if we get 3x, like at the end of the month, looking into the bank account, there's money left. Okay, so obviously great, you've got money left, but what's the math behind the 3x? Now, that's great if you're doing good, but that's bad if you're not doing good. Like if your results suddenly are plummeting for a day, if you're below 3, like how much below 3 can you go to? Like what's your actual stop loss? It's like the equivalent of day trading with no stop loss and also no target. You're just like winging it and huddling the curve until it hopefully takes you up, which is the reality of most advertisers. It's like, seriously, and I say that, and it's funny because so many businesses owners that I meet on calls are like, that's not me, until I swear, for most people, this is the truth, is I'll ask them, what is your KPI? Oh, we need 2x ROAS. Where does 2x ROAS come from? They can't justify it. They're like, well, with my cost, and like it's around 50%, and it's around or it's exactly 50%. Well, honestly, it's very hard to say because it varies. And what was it last month? Well, I don't know yet because my accountant only does my report in about 3 months. Then, okay, so you don't actually know what you need to hit. I honestly cannot stress this enough. No, on ideally a daily basis, if not ideally a weekly basis, and at worst on a monthly basis, what do you need to hit in terms of KPI? How much ad spend versus what ROAS number you need to hit for essentially, and like what are the numbers in the back end that backs this up? Okay, so during our client's onboarding process, we sat down and noted down all of their costs, given how this is an e-commerce digital product seller. The costs look like this. So course fees, 15%, sales fees, 10%, fixed costs, $5,000, variable costs, $2,000. So only taking into account percentage-based costs, cost of goods are about 25%, which gives a break-even blended ROAS of about 1.3. Now, factoring in agency fees, fixed and variable costs, and accounting for a $40,000 a month in ad spend level, it brings our blended break-even ROAS to 1.77. Obviously, now we were at about $33,000 in spend, which give or take, break-even will be slightly higher, maybe 1.8, 1.83, 1.85. So we established a benchmark of 2x or more with the client to help her, well, just not break even, but take home some profits monthly. So that was the first thing. It's like we knew how much we needed to spend, we knew why we needed to spend this much, and we knew what the target ROAS was, backed by real numbers. Okay, account consolidation, which is point number 2. The way we keep our accounts is the following: 1 campaign per product, which is a CBL, 1 ad set for each ad. All of them had the exact same targeting. No gender in this case for this client. 18 plus, Australia, New Zealand, US, and Europe as a whole. Now, every ad set had only 1 ad concept under it. This ad had 2 ad copies, 2 headlines. That's it. Scaling likes simplicity. You cannot scale what you cannot clearly understand. I want you to view scale not as adding more and beefing up the machine. It's all about doing more or better of the thing that you're already doing, which means adding more ads to the same campaign, putting more spend on the same campaign, or doing better ads on the same campaign. That's it. Now, number 3, fundamentally sound ad creatives. I'm bringing this tracking sheet back up, which you saw earlier in this video, which is how we track all of the components behind every ad creative that we have for a client account at the agency. So fundamentally sound ad creatives. Well, we launched and tested 20 brand new concepts in our first batch of ads with this client. So for each ad concept, we identified the following fundamentals backing their ideology, meaning backing the whole idea behind the concept. So for each concept, we know the persona for which this concept was made for. So the who. We know the mass market desire, which is, in other words, like what are we speaking to them about? What desire are we evoking? The positioning, the awareness level of the ads messaging, the how. How are we speaking to this customer? The angle, recipe, or framework that was used to build this ad. The creative type. Is it a UGC ad, video ad, static ad, carousel? Product and benefit. What product was advertised in this ad? And what was the main benefit? You don't want to have an ad, by the way, that focuses on a gazillion benefits or features of a product. Usually hone in on one or perhaps two feature or benefit of a product and highlight those in the ad, which we know which one were those that we highlighted in this ad. Copy, headline, and landing page that we directed traffic to. Therefore, this allows us to easily reproduce our successful ads while using these modular fundamental pillars behind each winning ad. So what I mean by that is we essentially can mix and match these, right? So what I can do is if I test, and going back to our tracking sheet, right? We have 1 winning ad, 2 winning ad, we have 3 winning ad, 4 winning ads. Okay, great. So what are the commonalities between each of these winning ads? Well, you can kind of notice that by looking into just here, the limited amount of information you have, pretty much all of them are solution aware. So, all right, great. Then we know that our customers it's fair to assume at least that we have a significant pocket of our audience that is solution aware. Okay, great. And now I could keep doing the same thing. Like, what are the personas? What am I noticing about like the different blocks, again, that are part of this winning ad? And what I can do is I can literally pick the same concept again, which is the same blocks. I can pick the same persona, the same overall desire, the same positioning, the same, creative type, etc. But all I can decide to do is change one of these variables. So I have, let's say, 80% of the variables in my concept that I know are proven winning variables, and I can just change the angle, recipe, or framework. And then that becomes like a whole new different concept, but backed by winning variables. So how do we find these pillars or variables? Well, two things: own data, market data. Own data is ads manager stats from the past, Shopify data, Google Analytics, customer reviews, post-purchase surveys, social media comments, and I pass a few. Market data is Google, Reddit, Quora, competitor websites, Amazon, YouTube, which by combining owned and market data together, you can actually create a very good sense of what you need to advertise for and what these sort of pillars end up becoming. Finally, 3.5, time. Nowadays, I don't know if you've known that, but I saw a very interesting newsletter from a company called Marpipe. So MARPIPE, which they're actually a company that does like personalization at scale of catalog ad creatives on Meta, which highly recommend you check them out. But they confirmed that they, on their very good source, that Meta was moving towards weekly budget distribution. And funnily enough, we've actually seen a lot of indicators of that over the last few months, and more recently over terminology changes within the ads manager. If you now look into, and it's not all of our accounts, but some of our accounts, if you look at both the campaign and the ad set level, it doesn't say daily ad budget anymore. It says budget strategy. So daily ad budget is not used. And under that, it says we will take this daily ad budget. So it still says daily budget right below in like little characters, but then it says we will spread it out across a week, and we'll make sure that in a week's period, we won't spend more than the average daily budget, but we might spend more than 75% of this so-called average daily budget on a day-to-day basis if we believe it's going to bring you better results. Which in other words means instead of Facebook respecting $100 a day, and this is not new information, this has been there for about a year now, which instead of spending $100 a day, Facebook might say, well, look, if I look into a week's period, you are telling me that by putting $100 daily budget on this campaign, you are expecting to spend about $700 in a week. Therefore, I might spend, let's say $200 on day one, but then reduce the spend on each subsequent day, which gives you a little less control over your budget split. And I think now, just with the terminology changes that Meta has been doing with that, it kind of seems to point like they're trying to take more and more control over budget distribution, which to me personally, it's a little scary now that we're approaching Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because it's like, what if you run some campaigns with some budget prior to Black Friday, Cyber Monday to kind of ramp up towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday? You don't want all the budget to be spent immediately. You want this to ramp up towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Could be a little weird, but anyways, now what we're seeing is that Meta seems to be closely following the tracks of Google, which Google has been on a much more longer time horizon optimization cycle than Meta has. Google ads, or ads in general now, they just don't pick up as much as they used to instantly. We see ad creatives with poor results for a week straight after we launch them just magically pick up steam after 7 to 14 days live on Meta. Now, this is still very new to us, but it surely is redefining the way we look at Meta ads nowadays. Now, we typically used to look at ads on a 3-day or 7-day window. Now, this 3-day window in my experience, is becoming less and less relevant. And it makes a lot more sense to look at a 7 or 14-day window to optimize the ads. I'm not saying that we've completely disregarded the 3-day window, but for accounts that we notice ads starting to pick up a little later, we're slowly phasing out this 3-day window. I'll do a fully updated video based on how this sort of weekly distribution of budget has been impacting our ads internally. But for now, I did think it was interesting to mention that here, given how, as mentioned earlier, one of the campaigns that we launched for the jacket masterclass really only picked up steam like magically and with no changes on the website after about like 2 weeks of being live. And this is how we turned around this client's ad account in roughly a month or so of time. Now, if you made it this far in this video and you are an e-commerce brand around $50,000 a month with your business, click the link down below and book in a call to speak with myself and the team at paidadvertising.com to see how we can help you with your paid ads on Meta, Google, and or TikTok. And with that being said, if you're still watching this video and you don't want done for you help, but perhaps you want some consulting, either you're just starting out or perhaps you're past the point of working with an agency and you just want some outsiders help, also check out the description below and click on the second link, which will bring you to our one-on-one consulting mentorship that we have offered to you called Ad Engine. With that being said, check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.